Good afternoon, year one. We're going to be looking at some PSHE now. So before we begin, let's just remind ourselves of our discussion rules. So we know it's important that we need to listen to others when they're talking, and also when we are talking, we need to be mindful of other people's feelings. And we also need to respect and appreciate that everybody has different views and opinions. So our learning objective today is to recognize big feelings and know how to manage them. In our previous PSHE lessons, we've been focusing on feelings. We've looked at good feelings, not so good feelings. We've looked at everyday feelings, and we've also looked at some methods and strategies we can use to regulate our feelings from a not so good feeling to being a good feeling. So today we're going to be focusing more on this idea of big feelings. So pause this video and discuss with your adult what you think a big feeling could be. So a big feeling is a feeling that's so intense, it may cause you to change your behavior and your body language. A big feeling doesn't just come about randomly. A big feeling starts from a little feeling. So for example, somebody might do something or say something to me that might annoy me, and I might dwell on that, and it might build through time and then turn into a big feeling. I'm now starting to be really annoyed and angry at that person. So now I'm experiencing this big feeling. I might start to scowl a little bit. I might start to clench my fists a little bit. I might start feeling like I want to go and say something to that person because they've now made me angry. And that's me showing that I'm showing a big feeling, a big emotion. Sometimes when we're having a big feeling, we can behave in ways that is not so good and not very productive. So if somebody is feeling angry and they begin to start clenching their fists and feel like they want to, hit somebody, that's not good behavior. That's not going to be productive in any way. That's why it's very important when you start to feel a small feeling, which is maybe a not so good feeling, you should find a way to regulate that feeling, to change it into a good feeling, or find other ways of addressing what might have caused you to feel this not so good big feeling. Even sometimes we can have good big feelings. So for example, on my birthday, somebody gets me an amazing present. I'm so excited. I'm literally just shaking of joy. I don't even know how to act, and I'm being really loud, and maybe I could be disturbing somebody by being just too loud and too overexcited. It's still really important that we think about those good big feelings and think about how to make sure that our behavior is not changing in a way that it's now going to turn into something that's not so good. We're going to look at the scenario, which is about Maz, and we're going to kind of discuss what feeling he could be showing. Maz the alien is having a big feeling. He knows it's a big feeling because his body is tense and shaking. Also, his fists are tight. Pause this video and discuss with your adult what feeling might be Maz experiencing. So if we use our retrieval skills and our prediction skills, we know that if somebody is tensing up and their body is shaking, and definitely if their fists are becoming tight, we know that that is behavior that relates to being angry. So Maz is feeling angry and his body's tensing up and his fists are now becoming tight. Maz is now showing that he's angry and his behavior is changing, his body is changing, his body language is showing a different kind of reflection. We know that by Maz's actions of him tensing his fists and his fists becoming tight, it could mean that his behavior is about to lead to something that's not going to end up very good in the long run. So pause this video and discuss with your adult what kind of strategies could you give Maz for him to calm down and lower that big emotion to a more smaller emotion, so his behavior doesn't get out of control and maybe turn into a more worse situation. So Maz could either maybe count to 10 to help calm himself down. We don't really know a lot more about the scenario, but he could remove himself from the situation, or even it's good if Maz could speak to an adult. An adult can give him some really good methods and strategies of lowering that big feeling down to a small feeling. Here we have another scenario. Pause this video and have a go at reading this scenario with your adult and have a go at answering the questions below. There's a worksheet in your learning packs that looks like so. You can use this worksheet to write down your ideas about the math scenario and answer the questions. Here we have some messages for some other students who are asking for your help and guidance. Pause the video and with your grown-up, work through the different messages and write down what kind of advice you would give to these children to help them regulate their big feelings. So let's have a quick recap of what we've discussed this lesson. So we spoke about big feelings, and a big feeling is a very intense emotion that might cause your behavior to change. It always stems from a smaller feeling. These big feelings can either be stem from a not so good feeling or even sometimes a good feeling. So for example, we spoke about you might be happy and then you go into being overjoyed. So that overjoyed is now showing that big feeling. Or you might go from being annoyed to being really very angry. So you've gone from that small feeling, which is annoyed, to being very angry, which is that big emotion, that big feeling. Sometimes when we're experiencing a big feeling, our behavior can change, and sometimes that behavior can not be so good. At this point, we need to stop and think, what can I do to help regulate this big feeling? What can I do to calm this feeling down and bring it down to a little feeling so things don't get out of hand? The most important thing you can do is definitely speak to an adult. Adults have a lot more experience than children, so therefore they'll be able to tell you different kinds of methods and strategies you can use to help control and regulate your big feelings. Thank you, year one, for listening. Have a good day.